New Thought Media Network proudly presents Lindsay Leimbach, Practicing Infinite Possibilities, Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And now, here's Lindsay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to PIP, Practicing Infinite Possibilities. Come here, Bubba. Bubba, my puppy, wants to say hi, too. How is everyone doing this morning? Okay, let's get right into it. What are we going to learn about infinite possibilities today? This is what we're going to learn. Keep the main thing the main thing. That's the title. Keep the main thing the main thing. Well, what does that mean? Well, as we start the new year and we're talking about doing things and making goals and making intentions and moving forward, we got to keep the eye on the ball of what we want. How much out there is distracting? How much? Tons of stuff is distracting. Social media. Let's see. Oh, hey, Trudy. Hi, everyone who's here. Thank you for showing. Trudy has been following me, and she gets on the YouTube channel. So I'm really excited that that works like that. Thank you for being here. It's talking about being distracted. So we're going to keep our eye on the main thing. I want to really have us dive into cultivating, keeping the eye on what we want instead of what we don't want. Because the world out there is always telling us things that we need, or that we should follow them, or we should take this medicine, or we should act this way, or we should join this club, or we should drive this car. We're getting bombarded by these messages all the time. And that's just the way the world is, especially when you grow up into a world like the United States of America, in which consumerism is what drives our economy. So consumerism means that we need to get more to keep the economy going. And that's not necessarily bad, but we personally don't want to be ruled by consumerism, by feeling like we have to keep up with the Joneses. We want to go back to our authentic self. What is the main thing in you? What is your authentic feeling? What is your intention? Can you hold that in front of you and allow that to drive you forward when you're making choices? Now, I have something I really am excited to show you. And I brought this up last week. Let's see. This is a book. It's called, here it is, Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. It's fabulous. And he has written so many wonderful, wonderful books. And they really are based on Stoicism. And if you know about Stoicism and you know about mindfulness, you're going to actually realize that Stoicism is pretty much mindfulness coming out of Western culture. And we could say the opposite. Buddhism and mindfulness and this whole understanding and philosophy, that is like Stoicism coming out of the Eastern philosophy. It's time. And it's interesting. They both evolved about 2,500 years ago at the same time on different parts of the world. So anyway, back to Stoicism that originated out of Greece. Now, this is from his book, and he wrote, Keep the main thing the main thing. I love this little story. This is what really got me. I was like, oh, I'm doing this one today. Okay, here comes my dyslexic reading out loud. This is big stuff, guys, because a lot of you guys know that I went to special ed school and being dyslexic. So reading out loud was something I would never think I would do in public. But here we go. Okay. Booker T. Washington was a busy man. He ran the Tuskegee Institute, which he founded. He traveled constantly to speak to crowds and meet with donors. He lobbied legislation. He gave lectures, led fundraising campaigns, and published 5 books. This is so cool. How did he do it all? It wasn't just endurance, hustle, and energy. It was also discipline to say the dreaded word. What is it, guys? What is the dreaded word? No. Yep. It was also the discipline to say the dreaded word no. The number of people who stand ready to consume one's time to no purpose, he said, is almost countless. Isn't that true? Everybody wants your time, especially when you're motivated, when you're fun, when you're intelligent, when you're spiritual, when you're authentic. People want to be around you. They would love you to volunteer. They would love you to work, you know? Some thought him aloof. Some thought him selfish. They said things behind his back. He was too busy to notice. He knew that the main thing in his life was to keep the main thing, especially when the main thing is to uplift an entire race of people. But when the main thing for us rests on us, that is the main question. What is your main thing? Okay, so Booker T. Washington, his authentic self, his purpose in life was to uplift, to bring forth the understanding, the love, the self-confidence, the beauty, the authentic self of the Black race in the United States of America, and make people aware of it. He kept that the main thing. That was his calling. He was fabulous at it. So he didn't have time to go to have tea with everyone or meet everyone. He had to know how to say the dreaded word no. Who here has a hard time with the dreaded word no? I'm raising my hand. I have to say that that is something that I actually have more mastered much later in my life. Because no is a hard word to say because you don't want to disappoint people. And you always think, well, I can kind of fit it in, bring it on, let it go. But when you give the yes to other people's yeses, then you're taking time off of your plate. So you can't put your yeses in, right? Here, I brought a plate. Yeah, here it is. Okay, here's my plate. So imagine that everyone has a plate of energy, okay? And there's only so much you can do in a day, so much that your mind can think about, right? It's this whole plate. And it's, let's say, 100 points. And if you keep saying, well, I'm going to say yes to that person and yes to that person, you're filling up your plate with everybody else's yeses. You're saying yes, but you're saying yes to their authentic journey, to what they think. And sooner or later, when you get the plate completely full with so many other people yeses, you don't have any room to put your yes, your main thing, and everything starts falling off. Just imagine you start walking around, you're like, whoa, and it just starts, the plate's too heavy. And that's when you start regretting it, when resenting it, being frustrated, being overwhelmed. If you are overwhelmed and you get frustrated because you feel like there just isn't enough time in the day, then I would look into what yeses are you saying to other people that are for their journey, and let's find that they're doing it. But is it your main thing? Because you just get one plate of time and you have to fill it up with your yeses. This I love too. He wrote this about the Supreme Court Justice Sarah Day O'Connor. A clerk of Sarah Day O'Connor said with reverence, Sandra Day O'Connor once said with reverence, Sandra is the only woman I know who doesn't say sorry. Women would say, sorry, I can't do that. She just says No. Say no. Own it. Be polite about it, but own it. It's really true. I see that in some men, but lots of women. When we can't do something for someone else, we say we're sorry, as if we made a mistake. But we didn't make a mistake. You don't normally, and I'm just generalizing, hear men go, I'm really sorry, I can't do that. They're just like, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time. And everyone's like, oh, great. But a lot of times you'll see when, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't make it, I feel so bad. So think about what you're putting into your psyche, that you did something wrong because you cannot join on their journey, which is not your journey. We need to really own that. Now, of course, you say sorry when you have done something wrong and you need to apologize. So I'm not saying sorry is a bad word, but I'm saying, how often do you say sorry when it's not appropriate to say sorry because you did not do anything wrong? You can say, nope, I have other plans. Don't give your power away as if you now owe them something because you can't join them or do that because your plate is already full. Remember, when you're in the airplane, they say, take the oxygen mask, put it on yourself first, and then help other people. And quite often, what we do is someone says, I'd like some of your oxygen. And you're like, okay. And then you're the person who gets out of balance. Now, of course, you need to say yes to things too. Let's go back to sorry. I wanted to say one other thing. I want to tell a little story about my sorry. Hi, Dad. Oh, I just want to throw this up before I get to my story. Good morning. This is my father. Good morning, Wendell Lineback. I've been reading the Daily Stoic that I gave him from Christmas. That's the same. Ryan Holiday wrote the Daily Stoic. So every single day there's a little Stoic quote and then his take on it. It's excellent. My dad's reading it. My kids are reading it. A lot of my friends are reading it. I'm reading it. My husband's reading it. So I highly recommend the book. And you can go to ryanholiday.net to see all the great books he's written. So, and I just also wanted to say hi to Wayne. What a gift to be present. Yes, the present is the gift right now, because in the present, we get to make the choice. So I played basketball in high school. I think a lot of you guys know I'm 6 feet tall, so I better learn something. And I learned basketball and it was fun. But when I played basketball, I made varsity my sophomore year. So sophomore, junior, and senior year. And when I started to play basketball on the varsity team, my coach would get so mad at me because what happened is I said I was sorry. So if I bumped someone, I'd go, oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm in the middle of a basketball game. Or if I threw the ball too high, or if I missed something, or if I miss it, the shot, I'd be like, sorry. My coach would pull me over and chew me out. He'd be like, what are you sorry about? You're playing a basketball game. You need to play through. He's like, Lindsay, when you're saying sorry while you're playing a basketball game, you are not in the game. You are stopping your thinking. Now think about this. When you say sorry, when you're playing a sporting event and you're on a team, I'm stopping my thinking and I'm thinking about what that other person is thinking. And then I'm thinking, am I getting approval from them? Did I offend them? I'm bringing this into an emotional relationship with this other person, or I'm seeking approval from everyone. I missed the shot. I'm so sorry. And then I'm like seeking validation. Oh, it's okay. Nobody has time to play basketball like that. Now, if I trip someone, they fell on the ground, I go over, help them up and say, I'm sorry. That's different. But I'm saying when I made a mistake, everyone makes mistakes in life. Right? When I made a mistake in this game, I actually made the biggest mistake is I got out of the game and started in my head and started to say, I'm sorry, instead of missing the shot and then going and getting the rebound and then making the next shot. Instead, I missed the shot and be like, sorry. And then I missed that second to get back in the game to help the team. He's like, you are never saying sorry again on this court. And it was a habit because I had low self esteem. I really did in high school. I had this low self esteem and I felt very awkward. And I felt that people were judging me and I needed to get approval from them to make sure that they accepted me. So that word sorry, sorry, sorry kept coming up because I was seeking approval because I didn't feel good about myself when I didn't need to seek approval. The truth is, I should go. So everyone misses a shot in basketball. Time to make it up and do the next thing. Right? What is the main thing in basketball is to be a team, be cohesive, be positive, be aware, keep trying, not lose yourself in self-pity or self-doubt. Same in life. Be in life. And in life, you need to know your main thing. What is your main thing? So for me, my life's purpose is to do what I do, which is coaching and spreading these positive understandings and awarenesses and teaching people how to understand their thoughts, accept their thoughts, but then choose what the next thought is with internal, authentic power. And you can see my whole life got me here. All the bumps and all the problems and all the successes got me here. This is my journey. This isn't your journey. What is your main thing? So I need to make sure that I clear out time on my plate to do my main thing, that I'm being as healthy as I can. So not only am I preaching it, I'm walking it. I'm meditating. I'm reading the books. I'm doing the stuff I need to do to be the best I can be so I can do my journey and be the light that I'm meant to be. Think about what is your main thing. If your main thing is to be a mother at this time, right, then make that the main thing. Doesn't mean you don't do other things. It just means you understand what your main thing is and you make sure you lead in that direction and you don't take off your main thing to put someone else's main thing in. And quite often you can call that as codependent, an enabler. People like that, what they do is they just take their self off and they put someone else on. And they need to learn the power of no. The power of no gives you, I want you guys really to lean into this. The power of no gives you the opportunity to say yes. Because I do believe there's infinite possibilities. And I do believe the universe is always leading you in the direction for your own journey and self-growth. But if you are living under the shadow of saying yes to everyone else, you don't see your opportunities. You don't see your opportunities. You don't see what the universe is giving you so you can say yes. So you can say yes. Wayne put up here this, and this is a good thing for me to know. Is a life coach a paid mentor? Yeah, in some ways, exactly. That's what it is. It's exactly that. It goes in there and really helps people mentor and get them going in the direction so they can bring out their authentic self. So thank you for asking that. I know that's a little confusing sometimes. All right, I want to come down here to something else that's really important to me because I was talking about what do I say no to? There's things that I really enjoy in the morning that I have to say no to. One is scrolling on social media. I really love that. You know, I get great videos and stuff like this that pop up all the time, but I have to say no to that so I can do my morning meditation. And one of my favorite morning meditations is called Morning Meditation by Jonathan Liam. He's French, but he has no accent that I can hear of. And it's on Insight Timer. I highly, highly recommend this 9-minute meditation. It's a guided meditation by Jonathan. And Insight Timer is an app that you can download for free. Yes, it'll try to upsell you, and I do it because I like all the features of the upsell. But it is a spectacular free meditation app. Insight Timer. So go to Insight Timer and then look up Morning Meditations by Jonathan Liam. There's 2 meditations he does. One has music in the background And then he has one without music. I don't like to have music in the background when I listen to guided meditations, because I really like to just focus on the voice, focus on the voice. Well, in this meditation, he is about making a magical, happy day. And he has about 3 minutes of setting that up and breath work. And then he goes and does 7 affirmations that are spectacular. And I have listened to this mindful meditation, guided meditation, hundreds of times now. And I want to tell you, I wrote up the first affirmation he says. Okay, so then he says, I make plans, but I remain flexible and open to the surprises that life has in store for me. I practice saying yes as often as possible. There's the paradox, right? So here I'm talking about the magical word no, and here I do this meditation who's saying the word yes. Let's lean into that, because we have to learn how to say no to the things that are not our main thing. That we say no to things that fill up our plate but don't actually move us forward in a healthy way. And then I want to make sure that I have space on my plate that is, I like to say, that's open to God. It's open to being able to see the miracles of the present moment. So I have, being in the present moment means I'm not distracted by all these other things. And then I get to be able to say yes to the signs that God gives me. And that's called living in the flow. That's what they mean, living in the flow. So you have to learn how to cultivate no, and you have to learn how to cultivate yes. But you say no to things that aren't your journey. And you say yes and leave open space so you can be flexible and see the miracles that are coming towards you. If you're overwhelmed, if you're frustrated, if your day is so packed, you miss the God yeses that are coming your way because you're so lost in your own mind. So let's hear this affirmation one more time. I love this. I make plans, but I remain flexible and open to the surprises that life has in store for me. I practice saying yes as often as possible when it's the main thing. When it's the main thing. Now, how do people get there? You have to sit back and think about what is your main thing. You know, you can meditate on it. You can journal about it. You can talk to a coach. You can talk to a therapist. You can talk to a best friend. You can talk to your minister. What is your main thing? In other words, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? And sometimes, like, I was on the board of the YMCA out here, the executive board, and in June, my time will be 10 years. That was the main thing for me. I love volunteering and making that happen and being part of the community. We bought reading programs and swimming programs to children that of need. We also then, of course, help senior citizens so that they stay active. I mean, it was just such a great organization, and still is. But I've done it for 10 years in June. So then I've decided that I'm going to step away. It doesn't make the organization wrong. It just means it's time for me to do something different and give someone else the opportunity to do that. 10 years on a board is a long time. So now I'm going to say no. It was a yes, and it was a great yes. But now I've done that. Now I'm going to say no. And that's going to give me a little more time to develop something else in God's plan in my journey, so I can take that on. I don't know what that is. I'm contemplating it. I'm meditating on it. I'm developing it. I'm thinking about it, but I'm giving myself some space. I'm giving myself some space. And that's what I'm asking you. Can you give yourself some space? Let me come up to my comments. Yeah, here Wayne wrote, do the work. That's right. It's effort. Practicing Infinite Possibilities. PIP is the name of the show. And why I say that is because practice is effort. So you have to practice saying no. Start off saying no to little things. No. I mean, being able self-powering, it really is. It really is. It's an inside out job to be able to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And when you learn out, no, I'm not going to eat that. No, I'm not going to drink that. No, I'm not going to park in the very front of the parking lot. I'm going to park way out at the end so I get more exercise. So it's effort. Practicing Infinite Possibilities is effort and learning that you have the positive choice of no and the positive choice of yes, and learning how to cultivate that balance. All right. I told everyone that I was going to make the class not run over time, at least, and a little bit shorter. So I hope you really enjoyed today's session. Remember, this is the last thing I will read on him. No one can say yes to their destiny without saying no to what is clearly someone else's. No one can achieve their main thing without the discipline to make it the main thing. So today and your homework this week is cultivate what is the main thing and lean into it and say yes to the main thing and learn the discipline is your destiny, the discipline to say no to what's not your main thing. All my love to you all. It's awesome being here. Next week, we're going to dive deeper in these concepts. I want to thank New Thought Media Network for everything that they do. It's a nonprofit organization, so always remember to donate. If you ever want to get in touch with me, Centeredmoment.com is my website. Centeredmoment@gmail.com is my email. Or you can message me through Facebook or Instagram, all those different ways. If you really like this, please remember to like the videos and then pass them on. Maybe you know someone else who needs to learn how to say no to things that are not their main thing and say yes, the big, fat, beautiful yes to the things that are your main thing. That's what we'll practice this week from PIP, Practicing Infinite Possibilities. All my love, and I shall see you next week.